Joy was a talking hemorrhoid in an auburn wig. She was so ungracious.
If I ever become a one-issue voter, it will be about pollution and the greenhouse effect and
Can
the
we
fact
focus
that,
on the president, please? I don't want to talk about Trump.
Excuse me a second, please. I want to talk about the different...
honoring, but I'm not interested in your one-issue voter.
I don't care what you're interested in. I'm talking.
Well, I don't care what you're interested in
We'll
either.
be right back.
I felt like I'd been slapped. McCain recalls of the time Joy Behar said, "I did not miss you," after her maternity leave. Nothing anyone has ever said to me on camera since I have been giving interviews since I was 22 years old ever hit this hard. Hello my viewers, welcome to your favorite Hollywood celebrity updates. Please don't forget to subscribe and click the notifications bell icon for more celebrity gossip updates. Today's scandal is one that's caught a lot of people off guard, stirred up intense reactions, and peeled back yet another layer of the complex and often combative relationships behind the scenes at The View. This time, it's Meghan McCain making headlines again, but not for political commentary or a social media feud. In a recent interview, Meghan dropped a bombshell that has left both fans of the show and media insiders stunned.
Well, I miss some of them.
No joke.
I do. I miss some of them. I mean, I don't miss the panel's perfect now.
Yes, but you know what? You can.
She claims that her former co-host Joy Behar called her a slut and a whore during their time working together, not as part of the on-air banter or one of their infamous live show arguments, but in private moments, off camera. And in her own words, "She calls me a whore." This revelation has reignited interest in the long-rumored tensions between the two women and raised serious questions about the culture behind the scenes at one of TV's
25 freaking years. Don't tell me what I'm supposed to be saying, Meghan, okay? You do your thing, we do ours.
You're supposed to say. I know, I'm well aware we do separate things on the show, Joy.
most watched and debated talk shows. Meghan McCain, daughter of the late Senator John McCain and former conservative co-host of The View, has always been open about the friction she experienced during her time on the show. But this is the first time she's publicly alleged that the tension took such a personal and frankly nasty turn. Let's rewind and walk through how we got here. Meghan has never shied away from speaking her truth even when it's uncomfortable or controversial. Since leaving The View in 2021, she's been vocal about her experience on the panel, describing it as emotionally draining and at times openly hostile. In her memoir and subsequent interviews, she's talked about feeling isolated, ganged up on, and targeted for her political beliefs. Her clashes with Joy Behar in particular were regular features of the show and often spilled into the headlines. But up until now, most of what we knew about their conflict was based on what aired live. Sharp disagreements, eye rolls, and sarcastic jabs. Meghan might accuse Joy of being dismissive, and Joy would shoot back with a snide remark. It was fiery, sure, but it always had the veneer of being part of the show's dynamic, two strong personalities clashing in the arena of ideas. That's why this new claim is so disturbing. In the interview, Meghan said plainly, "Joy Behar calls me a whore. She's done it more than once. Not as a joke. Not in a friendly way. In a way that's meant to belittle me, to demean me, and to remind me that I'm not welcome." The tone of her voice in the recording was not angry or theatrical. It was exhausted, hurt, and deeply personal. She went on to describe how the insults would sometimes come during off-air moments, either in passing or under the breath, but always heard, always felt. According to Meghan, there were times when she would walk off set and find herself shaking, trying to hold it together until she could get to her dressing room. She painted a picture of a workplace where cutting remarks weren't just tolerated, they were normalized. While she acknowledged that The View is known for intense debates and strong opinions, she argued that there's a line between political disagreement and personal attack, and that line, she says, was crossed repeatedly. After this claim started circulating, the reaction was immediate and explosive. Social media blew up with people taking sides. Some were shocked and disappointed, calling out Joy Behar for what they described as mean-spirited behavior. Others questioned Meghan's timing and motives, suggesting that she was trying to stay relevant by reigniting a feud that had already run its course. But regardless of where people stood, the story couldn't be ignored. Fans of the show began combing through past episodes, looking for any signs or on-air moments that might lend credence to Meghan's story. There were certainly plenty of heated clashes, times when Joy would roll her eyes, cut Meghan off, or make snide remarks under her breath. But there's no public footage of her using those specific words. That's part of what makes the allegation so potent. It pulls back the curtain on what allegedly happened when the camera stopped rolling. A few former staffers, speaking anonymously to entertainment outlets, said that while they never directly heard Joy use those specific insults, The atmosphere behind the scenes was tense and often unfiltered. One former producer said, "There were definitely moments when things got personal. The dynamic between Joy and Meghan was combustible. It wasn't just TV drama, it was real." Another crew member described the energy as toxic at times, adding that the show's producers were often left trying to manage egos and patch up conflicts just minutes before going live. Joy Behar herself has not publicly responded to the allegation, at least not yet. But her silence has only fueled speculation. Some believe she's waiting for the storm to pass. Others think a statement might be on its way. Either way, the longer she stays quiet, the louder the conversation becomes. And of course, this isn't Joy's first brush with controversy. Over the years, she's been known for her sharp tongue and no-nonsense demeanor, traits that have earned her both admiration and criticism. But there's a difference between being blunt and being cruel. And that's the line many believe was crossed if Meghan's claims are true. It's not about political differences or even personality clashes. It's about dignity. About respect. About whether a workplace, especially one as visible and influential as The View, should be a space where women tear each other down instead of lifting each other up. What's especially poignant about this story is how it reflects a broader issue that many people, especially women, face in professional settings. The blurring of lines between disagreement and disrespect, between assertiveness and bullying. Meghan McCain may have a platform and a famous last name, but her experience echoes that of countless others who felt marginalized, silenced, or demeaned in workplaces where they were supposed to be equals. In the same interview, Meghan said something that stuck with a lot of listeners. "People think because I'm loud or opinionated, I can't be hurt. But the truth is I was deeply hurt. I still am." That vulnerability, coming from someone who's so often painted as combative or dramatic, resonated in a different way. It reminded people that behind the headlines and the hot takes, there are real emotions, real scars. As the fallout from this revelation continues, it's unclear what the long-term impact will be. Will Joy Behar address the claim? Will The View issue a statement? Will this trigger a broader conversation about conduct behind the scenes at major television shows? Already, some advocacy groups are calling for ABC to investigate the matter more thoroughly, arguing that if these kinds of comments were made, they represent a serious breach of workplace standards.